Hi, it's Marty Cesario for Mountain TV with Sportswomen of Colorado, and this time you get to hear from Emma Doyle. She's a former high-performance tennis coach from Australia, now living in Denver. She's a corporate coach, a published author, an event speaker, a podcast talent, and right now a guest of Jennifer Anderson Ehrlich, who is the executive director for Sportswomen of Colorado. So let's get smarter and more inspired with Jen and Coach M.
I am here today with none other than author of What Makes a Great Coach, Emma Doyle. Emma, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I had the honor and the privilege of meeting you a few weekends ago at the Center Her Court conference for tennis coaches, tennis players. The irony around this is I don't play tennis. I want to play tennis after attending this, but I really realized that it was just about creating an area, a space for females and leaders within our industry, coaches. And I just walked away feeling so inspired and had to have you on the show. So welcome. Can you tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much, Jen, for having me. I'm super excited to be here. And I do love the mission of Sportswomen of Colorado around promoting and honoring and empowering girls and connecting women in sports. So thank you so much for being here. Very brief background is that I played a lot of sports growing up, probably the master of none of them really. And it wasn't until I sort of started coaching at 14 years of age, and I knew I wanted to be a coach immediately, and that's still what I do today. I'm a coach at heart, and my career has taken many different left-hand turns, right-hand turns along the way, but very fortunate to transfer and use tennis as the vehicle to spread my passion and my joy for coaching not only people on the tennis court, but off the tennis court these days. But thank you so much, Jen, for having me.
Yes. The first thing that I want our listeners to know is you're obviously not from the United States. And in your book, you tell the story about a specific coach and a tennis academy that you were dying to coach at. You just had to coach. You woke up, you called 4 times a week at 4 a.m. from Australia every single day to this place in Florida. Nobody answered, nobody returned your call. And what did you decide to do? You got on an airplane and you took how many flights? Like 4 flights, maybe? I can't recall. Yeah. I'll let you tell the story. And you showed up and you said, I'm here. I'm ready to coach. I want to be coached by the best coaches and I want to learn from the best coaches. Share a little bit of that story. It's just kind of wild.
Yeah, it's a wild story in that if I had to summarize the only way I know how to be successful in my entire life is to take action. So if somebody doesn't offer you a job or you're sitting on the couch waiting for that golden opportunity, get off the couch. That's lesson number one. You have to take action in life, and no one was returning my calls. I mean, why would they? Who am I, right? So it was one of those things that I rocked up on the doorstep and I said, I'm that annoying person who's been calling. It wasn't just one academy. I spread my wings, and then the beauty of that was that I said, if you can give me free food and accommodation for 1 week, I'll coach for free. And if at the end of the week, if you think I'm no good, please get rid of me. And at the end of visiting 4 different academies, I had 4 different job offers, which is a pretty cool thing. And one of the most important lessons I want to share is that the reason I did that is I wanted to learn the look. I wanted to stand behind the best coaches in the world. And at that time, in the late 90s, Florida was the mecca of producing tennis players. So I wanted to stand on the court with the best of the best and say to myself, why did they say that? Why did they see that? Why are they going there? And I learned so many things about what great coaching looks like, and also what, some pretty awful coaching looks like as well. And I think that's the thing that I'd love to share with your listeners is just how can they add one thing onto their coaching toolkit? Because especially we're passionate about women, confidence equals time plus experience. You can't short circuit time, but you can short circuit the experience of others. You know that very well in your sporting background as well, Jen. What are your thoughts there?
Totally. You were tenacious about this. And when I met you 3 weekends ago, you said, if you call somebody and they don't answer, you call them again. And then you call them again. This is prior to me reading your book. If they don't answer, then you show up. And then when I read your book, I was like, oh, she really did that. And she's done that a lot. So that's inspired me to really take action. And the one thing that you shared, that you were literally curled up in a blanket on the couch watching the US Open. You spoke about seeds of doubt, though. And I do think, particularly for girls, for women, there are these seeds of doubt. When you mentioned that in your book, it might have been after you were driving a rental car. You're on the wrong side of the road because it's different in the United States than it is in Australia. You turn, a semi like lays on the horn. You drive over the cement like divider, and it was in that moment that you put your hands on the steering wheel. There was the seeds of doubt where you broke down crying and you were like, "What have I done?" I think we all encounter that. And I think particularly young girls, and we'll touch more on that when we get into your camps and how to run a girl power camp and what that looks like. But how did you quiet that voice when you were younger? Like, what were you telling yourself in that moment? For me, it's like fake it till you make it.
You know, I think I have a theory, you know, never down for more than 10 minutes, right? But back in the day, it was probably never down for more than an hour or even half a day, depending on what's going on. Like before every moment of success in my life, there's been a monumental failure. So even with my TEDx talk, I didn't get into the first one I applied to, right? So I feel like, first of all, we don't push away the negative thoughts, because they'll be with us throughout our entire life, right? So one of the things that actually I just ran a keynote for middle schoolers here in Brighton, in Colorado this week. And the biggest message was just to catch the thought, accept the thought, and then choose to just be courageous, or to just be in the moment, or to just be sad, feel the failure, and then say, right, most people quit on the 9th no, but when I get my 10th no, normally my 11th one is a yes. So this is the thing about failure and negative thoughts and self-doubt. It's not going anywhere, people. It is still there. I still have imposter syndrome. I still experience this. And the whole catch, accept, and choose, such a simple philosophy, and then throw the word just in front of anything. It's the whole just do it, the Nike tagline. Mel Robbins talks about the word just allows the fear, allows the anxiety, allows everything to say, you know what, rather than do it, yes, take action is important, but if you throw just in front of it, it allows you to have a go. It allows you to say, I'm going to step up. If this is something I really want, what's it going to take for me to get there?
Take in more from Emma Doyle on the coaching podcast, or her book, What Makes a Great Coach, or her TEDx appearances, which are published online. Thank you so much for supporting Sportswomen of Colorado. They've been telling these stories for over 50 years, and they're just catching up.